Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Fans YouTube channel. Yet again overdue, but we are here nonetheless. NXT this week. Let's talk about it. Where do I even start? We've got announced that next week, Ethan Page and Ethan Page and Tavion Heights will face off in a flag match. I've been saying I like how WWE and NXT are bringing back all the gimmick matches. You know, we had the blindfold match, now we're getting a flag match. I don't know if this is the same flag match that like Cena and Rusev had back in like 2015. I don't know, but it's interesting. Don't know if it's for the North American Championship though. I feel like it should be, but then again, it's a flag match, so maybe this might lead to an actual match for the title. Who knows? Opening up the show though with an opening match was Lash legend Jada Parker in what felt like a 30-minute match. It was only 12 minutes, but it was long and grueling. And Lash Legend got the win. A bold choice, given that they've been trying to turn Jada Parker face. And it really seems like she's the one that NXT want to put a spotlight on once Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe and all that are gone. And Lash Legend did just lose to Nia Jax. But I'm kind of glad Lash Legend got this win because Jada Parker don't need it. I'll be honest, Jada Parker's won a lot. And for Lash to win this might not be the last match between them, but it means we're not like having Lash Legend lose all the big matches. We need to put her on somehow. And even after the match, Jada Parker attacked her and did a hypnotic through the barricade. Both women are over. It didn't really matter who won that match as long as it was good, and it was. And both can hold their own in the ring. I will say Jada Parker is better in the ring, but maybe that's just the chemistry in there, you know what I mean? Maybe Lash Legend shines in other factors. But it was a decent match. I'm glad it happened. It was nice to open up the show. Javon Evans came back to redress his defeat and address, Heatwave until he was interrupted by Josh Briggs, who basically the whole time was just saying he was not good enough to challenge for the NXT title. And then they got into a bit of a fight, and then later on in the night, Josh Briggs ended up having a match with Andre Chase, where he beat Andre Chase and beat up the whole of Chase U. And next week we have Josh Briggs, Javon Evans. While it's hard to back Josh Briggs, because he's not the greatest in the ring, he's not the greatest on the mic, he's really not main event worthy yet. I respect him, and I respect WWE for putting him on, because you can tell with being in the main event, main story spotlight, he's growing and he's improving every single week. I would say now he is a good mic worker. He was not 2 weeks ago. He was not a couple of weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? In ring, isn't it? He's pretty decent. Put him in there, you know, the Yoshiki storyline was one thing. The Obath storyline was one thing. But putting him in there with Javon Evans, a babyface, the top babyface in NXT, who can put on a banger with anyone, it's a right move. It's a right move. And I'm excited to see how well Josh Briggs actually does, because it is promising. I'll be honest, it is promising. But what else happened? Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe are not done, as we know. They've only had one match. And Blake Monroe was trying to make friends in the locker room with that other Grace woman who said she wasn't related to Jordynne Grace. And that's when Jordynne Grace burst in and started fighting Blake Monroe. And then Callie Armstrong, the Evolved champion, had a problem with Jordynne Grace and said, look, you're interrupting everyone's things, you know what I mean? So you interrupted my match or my NXT debut. So they had a match, and this is an interesting one because I feel like this is an even matchup. Jordynne Grace, while she's not a champion, she's a powerhouse and a massively respected wrestler on the roster. Callie Armstrong, we've not seen much of her, but she's Evolved champion. And from the highlights, it looks like she's pretty dominant. Do you know what I mean? So this was a good match. And Jordynne Grace got the win, rightful winner. It is a shame when a champion loses, but we can't have Jordynne Grace lose again. I feel like this was Jordynne Grace's comeback, and to beat a champion, it was an ultimate comeback since Blake Monroe, let's be honest. And again, that broke out into fight after as well. Blake Monroe was bloodied up. I don't know if that was planned or if that just happened. Either way, interesting. I can't wait for Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe's next match, because they actually put on a banger. So I am so ready for the next one. Trying to think what else happened. Oh, we got announced that, Ava has worked her ass off to get the next women's tag team title defense to be on an NXT team. So she's arranged for a triple threat tag team match. We have Zaruka facing off against Fatal Influence, facing off against the Culling. This is interesting. Who do I think will win? I've got no clue. Personally, I want the Culling to win, because those are the most likely I would want to be tag champions out of all them. But regardless of whatever team wins, they're not beating Alexa and Charlotte. No way, it's not happening. Last week or the week before, we had announced that the Speed Championships were moving to NXT. I said, what does this entail? Does that just mean the belts is going to be defended regularly, or are the Speed Champions just going to be on NXT? What's going on? No, the actual, when you go on X and there's the Speed tournament with 4 matches, and then there's like the defend it, then the Speed Champion defends it against the small tournament winner. That's happening on NXT. So we had Candice LeRae from SmackDown take on Zaya, someone from TNA, in a decent match, which Candice LeRae won, which I didn't expect her to. So fair enough. Candice LeRae advances in the Speed tournament. So I'm wondering who else is going to be in this tournament, because it seems to be the same women all the time. Is it genuinely women that they just don't use? But then again, Sol Ruka is the champion. And the men's one, are they going to do it with the men? Because who's meant to be the men's champion right now? I swear it's meant to be El Grande Americano. Is he going to be defending it? Is there going to be a men's speed tournament? I need to see it. Let's just be honest. I need to see it. Let's see it. And finally, the main event is the last thing to cover. It was the team of Dark State taking on Oba, Ricky Sainz, who are challenging for the NXT title, and Hank and Tank, who want to challenge for the tag team titles. They had a bit of a promo backstage where they were hyping each other up, trying to team up, and Ricky and Oba got on most of the night and got on most of the match as well, until it all imploded at the end and they all started fighting, and it left Hank and Tank on their own. Here's the thing I don't get. Dark State had a fantastic promo earlier on the night. They went through each and every single one of them. Dion Lennox, Osiris Griffin, Cutler James, Saquon Sugars, about how they all were underestimated. Dion Lennox was formerly here in NXT and was overlooked. Saquon Sugars has done his work on the indies and has always been overlooked. Cutler James was told by Bubba Ray Dudley on LFG that he would never make it in the business. Osiris Griffin was never given a chance by the NFL. They had these amazing promos and hype packages, like they always do. Smooth talkers and smooth in the ring, fast and aggressive on both. And yet in the ring, we're left 4v2 on Hank and Tank. And Hank and Tank still won. Dark State were meant to come in here and dominate everyone. And yet they're the NXT Tag Team Champions, but they've lost. They lost at Slammiversary. They've lost this one. And they lost in 2v4. All because Joe Hendry came out and showed his face and it got Cutler James distracted. What happened to the other 3 members? Sorry? I don't know. But it is what it is. I'm a bit mad they got the win, but I can see why they did it. They wanted to give Hank and Tank another shot at the titles. And rightly so. Hank and Tank's reign was boring, but since they've lost those titles, they've done nothing but be entertaining. They've been in all the great backstage segments. They've been in all the great matches. They have great chemistry. They're genuinely entertaining. They're like modern day New Day. Genuinely, they are fantastic. So yeah, that's probably a title match we're going to get down the line, and I'm not going to complain about it. The night ended with Oba and Ricky Sainz scrapping it all out. And to be honest, that's going to be a great match at No Mercy, and I can't wait for that either. One thing I forgot to mention, TNA World Champion Trick Williams came out saying he said he was the greatest of all time in NXT, and no one from past, present pulled him up on it. He said no one pulled him up on it. No one is challenging the TNA World Champion because he's too great, and that's when DIY returned. This is fantastic. You're probably just thinking, oh, another main roster call down to help build another superstar up. Wrong. DIY, not only were they an iconic tag team in NXT, but they were both also iconic as solo superstars in NXT. So this was a great callback, and it was the 10-year anniversary of them debuting in NXT. I mean, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano as tag team champions, putting on bangers with the Revival and all that. Crazy. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's feud. Crazy. Feud over the NXT title. Crazy. Johnny Gargano as North American champion. Crazy. The matches they had with Adam Cole and all that shit. Crazy, right? So this was great, and they had a big battle on the mic, but then it all ended in a fight, and DIY were actually faces at this time. They're heels on SmackDown, but when they come home to NXT, they are faces, and I couldn't agree more. And something tells me at No Mercy or at some TNA event, we might get Trick Williams defending the TNA World title against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano if not a tag team match where he picks a partner against DIY. But I would hate that. I'd love the triple threat match. Let's have Johnny and Tommaso be solo superstars just for one night. That would be great. They're doing fine as tag team. And trust me, I'd rather them be a tag team than be solo superstars. Because if they were solo superstars, we know Triple H would have raised them. Even though Triple H is the one who put them on in NXT, man. But that was great to see. Because Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, that was my era of NXT. When they were fighting Adam Cole over those titles, that was my era. I was there for it. And the only other thing I haven't mentioned is the NXT Women's title. JCJ and Lola Vice, they've done nothing. They did a hype package for Lola Vice. Not even a hype package. It was literally just a documentary. You know, she talked about her roots. She talked about her family. That's literally what it is. JCJ was just being a part of Fatal Influence this week. And it is what it is. We know they've got a match at No Mercy. I said it was early booking and they're just going to have all these filler things. They're going to run out of ideas. And they already have, as it seems. So let's just hurry up and get to No Mercy so we can see that match happen. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and I will see you in the next one.